show that these are not seen at all levels but only some. This we will do in three aspects: political, religious, and cultural, by analyzing evidence from history as well as today in the contemporary Caribbean, where we see some signs of Caribbean unity and harmony arising.
Enjoy.
Welcome to Two Talkers. We'll discuss intolerance in Caribbean culture based on history as well as what is seen in the contemporary Caribbean and how culture brings unity. We know that there is intolerance to some cultural activities among Caribbean people.
Yeah, there is intolerance to culture to some extent. For instance, in the contemporary Caribbean, Trinidad has many ethnic groups. Indians being one of them, where they practice arranged marriages in their culture. But some Trinidadians and even some Indian residents there today are intolerant towards the cultural practice because it is what they view as not normal.
Exactly. And come to think of it, even in history, intolerance was shown to some cultures. You remember the time when our ancestors would dance and sing to mentally escape the harsh conditions?
Oh yes, but Europeans, they were intolerant towards it.
And skeptical too.
And we can't forget the high levels of intolerance that the Trinidadian Berry McBurney faced for her culture, even from her very own.
At first, can't forget that. So I guess we know we have intolerance, but culture must bring some form of unity in the Caribbean, right?
Most definitely. Look at Carnival in Trinidad or Reggae Fest in Jamaica. It brings Caribbean people together in celebration.
In cuisine too, Caribbean people share similar likes in food. Example, curry from Trini is also a delicacy in Jamaica. And let's not forget about steel pan, where people from different Caribbean countries come together to play in a band.
That's all for now, guys.
See you next time on Two Talkers.
Welcome to our segment, Hot Table Talk. And with us today we have Christopher, Shamar, James, and myself, Zorishi. Let's begin with intolerance. That is rejecting beliefs and behaviors that differ from what you see as normal or acceptable.
Intolerance is certainly seen in the contemporary Caribbean. Political leaders can't seem to solve conflict professionally, and people won't tolerate it.
This is seen several times in the Jamaican Parliament.
Definitely, there was once an occasion when a member of Parliament made a very inappropriate gesture to his fellow opposing minister. Now when citizens see things like this, one cannot expect them to tolerate it.
So true. In history though, did we see intolerance in politics?
Well, yes, there was a time when Caribbean countries came together politically in what was called the West Indian Federation. Because of history though, this federation fell apart.
Because we all know colonization, the big bad monster who scare these countries away since it's the Europeans who would oversee them. I think the Caribbean leaders, especially Jamaica's leaders, first left New European Association to colonization and didn't want to further be slaves around.
Colonialism, definitely a historical antecedent. And then, of course, there's the issue of mistrust.
Absolutely. I mean, how can you as a citizen trust the political system that is even showing the slightest form of corruption?
Where is the people's money? What are you doing with the people's money?
True.
Well, Asians are asking that same question right now in their protest.
What protest?
Just recently, the people started to protest. They just don't see where their money is going.
Funds from Petrocarb oil.
And don't forget about the funds that they got after the earthquake in 2010. All of what's supposed to help rebuild the people, saying they are not seeing that is happening. So you know the level of mistrust has definitely gone up.
Even on the topic mistrust, in history, colonial people promised indentured workers in the Caribbean, work for me and I pay with land and assets. Yes, they work hard, but
the amount of work that they put in was worth so much more than what they got for it.
Exactly. And like a plague, these issues creep up to the Caribbean politics today.
Well, after all that, is there any unity, harmony, or cohesion in politics at all?
Well, of course. In the past, Bob Marley in the One Love concert tried to bring harmony between the political parties in Jamaica at that time.
in a way, even the West Indian Federation was a form of unifying Caribbean countries. because they will become one government system.
And presently, we can't forget the CARICOM that unifies the Caribbean countries politically as well.
Well, folks, there you have it. Our perspective of Caribbean politics.
Well, folks, we sure have a good one here for you today. In the Caribbean, there's definitely some levels of mistrust and intolerance toward different religious beliefs and practices. These are issues that further segregate the contemporary Caribbean, and we are here to discuss these claims. Let's begin.
Religious intolerance is an unwillingness to accept others' religious belief or practice or lack thereof.
Yes, and this was prevalent in the Caribbean history. During slavery, in the 17th century, the Europeans displayed intolerance towards the enslaved Africans' religious practices, thus restricting obeah and the beating of the drum, among other things.
And might I highlight that the Europeans forced Christianity onto the indigenous population, regarding their way of life as barbaric and backward. Christianity was somewhat also forced upon the enslaved population as well, being superior and the right way.
On that note, might I say that this is the reason why many individuals are drawn to Christianity in the Caribbean today. It was engraved in us from in history that it is the right religion.
It is plausible.
I mean, even Rastafarian was frowned upon in Jamaica in the late 1900s.
Today, intolerance to religion in the contemporary Caribbean is seen in the stereotyping of Muslims in the region. Another example is the Haitian practice of voodoo, but in Jamaica, this religious practice is not tolerated and even illegal.
I see your perspective.
Also, some people in the society may be intolerant to some religious belief because of the stigma attached to it. For instance, if an unmarried teenage girl gets pregnant, she is deemed as unholy and a fornicator according to Christian religion.
And sometimes they are even shunned in some Caribbean communities.
I see, and not everyone tolerates that. But guys, religion must bring some form of unity to the Caribbean, right?
Well, yes, it does on a wider scale. For instance, we see after the earthquake that devastated Haiti in 2010, thousands of Caribbean citizens rushed to their aid.
Yes, and for a moment, people seem to forget their religious intolerance and religious indifferences.
Missionaries are also exampling how religion tries to bring harmony in the region in the form of helping other Caribbean countries.
Viewers, you've heard it here first. This was Caribbean Heart Talk.
There is some level of intolerance and mistrust in the Caribbean, but not at all levels.
Yes, because in culture we see evidence of unity despite some levels of intolerance towards some cultural activities in the Caribbean.
And politics, despite the level of mistrust and intolerance, still bring unity and cohesion today.
Absolutely, and despite intolerance towards some religious beliefs and practices in the Caribbean, religion still brings unity and harmony.
Thanks for watching.
Talk